and welcome to the business update conference call of Pricol Limited. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star and 0 on your touchtone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. At this time, I would like to hand over the conference to Mr. Anuj Solpal from Valorum Advisors. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone, and a very warm welcome to you all. My name is Anuj Solpal from Valorum Advisors. We represent the investor relations of Pricol Limited. On behalf of the company, I'd like to thank you all for participating in this conference call for the business update of Pricol Limited. Before we begin, let me mention a short cautionary statement. Some of the statements made in today's con call may be forward-looking in nature. Such forward-looking statements are subject to risks and uncertainties which would cause actual results to differ from those anticipated. Such statements are based on management's beliefs as well as assumptions made by and information currently available to management. Audiences are cautioned not to place any undue reliance on these forward-looking statements in making any investment decisions. The purpose of today's call is purely to educate and bring awareness about the company's fundamental business. Let me now introduce you to the management participating with us in today's earnings call and hand it over to them for opening remarks. We have with us Mrs. Vanita Mohan, Chairperson, Mr. Vikram Mohan, Managing Director, Mr. P.M. Ganesh, Chief Executive Officer and Executive Director, Mr. Siddharth Manoharan, Director of Strategy, and Mr. Priyadarsai Bastia, Chief Financial Officer. Without any further delay, I request Mr. Vikram Mohan to start with his opening remarks. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Thank you, Anuj, for that introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to all of you. First and foremost, on behalf of the promoter group of Pricol Limited, represented by our founder and my father, Vijay Mohan, our chairperson and mother, Mrs. Vanita Mohan, the Managing Director of Pricol Holdings and Pricol Corporate Services, and my wife, Mrs. Lakshmi Mohan, and my brother, Viren Mohan, constituting the promoter group of Pricol Limited. I extend my warm welcome. And on behalf of my role as the Managing Director of the company, I also extend my warm welcome. There have been many developments over the past week with respect to Pricol. Pricol has been in the news in many sections of both print and visual media. We have received multiple requests for an investor call to give clarity to the investment community as to what is the view of Pricol's management in view of the recent developments that have happened and the news that has come out about Pricol. We'd like to start by assuring all of our investors and prospective investors, as I mentioned on TV last Friday, on channels like ET Now and CNBC, amongst many others, that the promoter group of Pricol, represented by me, stands committed to stay vested in Pricol, grow Pricol, and create value for all of our stakeholders. My management team, consisting of Ganesh, our CEO and Executive Director, our Director Technology, Amir Dastagir, our Director Strategy, Siddharth Manoharan, and CFO, Priyadarsai Bastia, stand committed to leading this organization along with our respective teams in the coming years to take it to greater heights and greater glory. 1975 was when this journey started, and 2025 would be the year we celebrate our 50th year. Accordingly, we have a Vision 2025 statements that I've been talking about at various investor forums, on which we have our firm eyes and focus on, and we stand committed to Vision 2025, which will end on 31st March 2026, the financial year ending March 2026. We are all aligned, and our entire organization is aligned towards achieving our Vision 2025. We believe that this investment made by Minda Corporation is purely a financial investment, as stated by them as the purpose of this investment, and we believe it is no cause for alarm or worry at this time. So we stay committed to this business. We want to create value for all of our stakeholders in a quest of achieving Vision 2025. There has been overwhelming support over the past 6 days from all of our key customers endorsing their loyalty to their organization. Overwhelming support from every section of our workforce, from workmen to staff to managers and senior leadership, endorsing their support to the current leadership team. We have had overwhelming support from our suppliers, endorsing their support and collaboration with the current promoters of your company. In addition to which, we have had overwhelming support also from many of our shareholders who I got to interact with on a one-on-one basis, either virtually or face-to-face. And more importantly, overwhelming support from our peers in the industry, from the auto component fraternity, endorsing Pricol's current leadership team and promoter team and their solidarity and support with us in these tenuous times. This has motivated not just me, but also my entire leadership team to recommit ourselves and double our efforts to not just achieve Vision 2025, which our entire organization is aligned towards and working towards, but to exceed the expectations because of the sea of support that we have seen in the last 5 to 6 days. In fact, we think it's the best endorsement that a company can get, that a competitor of the company takes an equity position stating it's a financial investment because they believe that we have superior technology, superior customer support, and better growth plans, and thereby our ability to deliver better value to our stakeholders. 2020 were tenuous times for the world, for India, and the automotive industry, and many other sectors of industry. Pricol was staring at a very uncertain future at that time, both personally as a promoter group and as an organization. We were at our lowest ebb. We had a very high level of debt. We didn't know where next month's payroll was going to come from. And we faced a lot of uncertainty. The board at that time decided that we will look at divesting some assets of the company and shrinking the turnover of the organization to strengthen the balance sheet. By the grace of God, we were able to divest some of our overseas investments and impair our investments and strengthen our balance sheet at that time. The promoter group had no second thought about the future of Pricol at that time. Personally, myself and the rest of my family members signed personal guarantees and placed a significant portion of our wealth as collateral to raise capital for Pricol at that point in time. And by the grace of God and the support of all of our stakeholders and the collective energy and hard work of all of our employees, this 2.5 years has only vindicated our belief and faith in the company. In 2.5 years, we today stand proudly in front of you as a completely long-term net debt-free company, a very strong balance sheet, and a very, very healthy pipeline of new business. We have embarked on significant capacity enhancement drives in order to cater to the new businesses that have come our way. And we will be investing close to 600 crores, as stated by me earlier, over the next few quarters in order to create additional capacity to cater to this additional business that we have won. The biggest endorsements have come from our customers. We have won innumerable awards for being the best supplier, from Tata Motors, from Suzuki, to Hero, to Honda, amongst many others. CII recognized Pricol this year as the top 50 technologically innovative companies in India, not just in India, but across the engineering spectrum in India. We have won innumerable ACMA awards, CII awards, Quality Circle awards, with the help and participation of various members of our team. This is an endorsement of the support that we have received and the good work that we have done. We have also entered into partnerships with two global companies, as stated by me earlier. Sibros, a Silicon Valley company based by marquee investors like Google, etc., to work with us on connected vehicle solutions. We have also tied up with BMS PowerSafe, a leading player in the battery management system space in Europe, to work on battery management solutions, a very emerging space in India. We were judged as one of the 10 most disruptive automotive technology companies this year in Auto Expo, the most marquee event happening in South Asia for the automotive industry, where we had innumerable visitors to our stall, where we had displayed many of our new products that we have developed. Starting from 2017, we started investing between 4.5% to 4.8% of our revenue every year in not just product development but also process development, which has started yielding enormous results from the year 2020. And that has been the reason for this thumping growth and customer confidence in us. We believe to stay ahead of the competition and to stay ahead of the game, we need to keep investing similarly in product development and process development, and we continue to stay invested at the same levels of about 4.5% of our sales. We have added almost 100 engineers in this realm in this financial year alone, which shows a testament of walking the talk in our investment in technology. The proof of the pudding has been the return on capital employed. For FY18, we had a return on capital employed of 8.38%. For FY19, we had a return on capital employed of minus 20.83%. For FY20, we had a return on capital employed of minus 20.86%. These 2 years, because of the losses and impairment due to our overseas subsidiaries, primarily the one large investment in Brazil. In FY21, as we were coming out of COVID, which is not an entire year because we lost over 3 months of production, we had a return on capital employed of 10.65%. In FY22, that further went up to 12.44%, and for the 9 months ending 31st December 2022, for the current financial year, we stand at a ROCE of 15.64%. And my entire team, and I assure you that you will only see this number going higher and higher in the coming years. Our PAT to debt ratio has also significantly gone up. Our EBITDA to debt ratio has also significantly gone up, and we have started generating significant amount of free cash flow. Our team and I are also confident of meeting our growth needs of approximately 600 crores capital required that will be met almost entirely by internal accruals. Every plant of the company is generating cash profits. Every subsidiary of the company is generating cash profits. Some mention about our leadership and market position in the market. In specifically the driver information system space, the space that we are dominant market leaders, two-wheelers, the largest market in the world is India, and in that space, we have a 50% market share. The balance being shared by our competitors, the balance 50% being shared by our competitors like JNS with the next biggest market share of 24%, and the balance 26% being shared by our competitors like Varroc, Visteon, Minda, Nafino Conti, Nippon Seiki, Galaxy, Suprajit, Continental, and Marelli. So you would realize that a 50% market share amongst 9 players in this space gives us a very, very strong lead and attachment to our capabilities. In the commercial vehicle segment, which is also a very large segment that your company Pricol operates in, Pricol enjoys a 68% market share, followed by Minda Corporation with a 19% market share, Continental with a 4% market share, and V3 with an 8% market share. In the off-road segment of BIS, which is a focus area for us, Pricol enjoys a 96% market share. All of these are value of BIS products in the respective vehicle segments. This is backed by data from both SIAM, which is Society for Indian Automotive Manufacturing, and ACMA, Auto Component Manufacturers Association of India, which is public documents. In another segment that Pricol entered into recently, which is the four-wheeler personal passenger vehicle segment, which due to non-compete with our erstwhile partners Denso and Johnson Controls, we have signed a non-compete for a long period. We were able to re-enter that market segment in 2020, and today amongst the 3 players that we have entered into, Tata Motors, Mahindra and Force Motors, we have a 48% market share, followed by Visteon, our competitor, at a 44% market share, and Minda at a 9% market share. This is relevant to only 3 customers where our investee, Minda, and us share in common and work together. So I think this financial performance, this market share that we enjoy, and the international market share that we have started enjoying in off-road vehicles and two-wheelers with customers like Ducati, Triumph, Harley-Davidson, KTM, BMW, some of the marquee players globally, all working with us today and having a significant market share with them also, is a testament to the work done by our engineering team and R&D team, a testament to our manufacturing prowess, and a testament to our quality levels. All these awards that we have won this year is again a testament to the customer confidence in us. We have also successfully managed to increase our market cap manifold in the last 2.5 years, which is also a testament to our shareholders like you, your faith in our organization and the performance that your organization has delivered. 2020, we were at the lowest ebb, as I mentioned earlier, both personally, as a family, and professionally as an organization. Today, in the beginning of 2023, I stand before you personally with zero corporate guarantees or zero assets pledged, and with adequate liquidity personally. Pricol completely deleveraged. Pricol on an expansion mode. Pricol with a clear vision 2025, and Pricol with a significant market share and a long and large LOI of businesses. We are poised for growth, we are poised for exciting times ahead, and we are poised to grow equitably and add value to all our stakeholders, including our customers, our employees, our valuable shareholders, and suppliers. Thank you very much for your confidence in the promoter group and the leadership team of Pricol, and I would be happy to take any questions starting now. Along with me, our CEO, Mr. Ganesh, and our Director of Strategy, Siddharth, and CFO, Mr. Bhatia, will also be joining in answering your questions. As a simple housekeeping rule, as there are many participants in the call and the question queue is building up, we request that participants restrict themselves to one question at a time so that everyone is given an opportunity to ask their questions. You may rejoin the queue after your one question is asked if you have additional questions, and we'd be happy to take as many questions as possible this evening. Thank you once again, and over to you, over to the moderator.
Thank you very much. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on the touchtone telephone. If you wish to withdraw yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. The first question is from the line of Tanuj Kiani from Ventura. Please go ahead.
Hello.
Good evening, Tanuj. Please go ahead.
Good evening. I just had one question regarding the internal business operations. So now that the company has a minority stake, it will come to know about your upcoming plans and new product lineup that you will be getting into. So how would that information be shared, and how that would give an advantage to Minda in that sense? So can I maybe get that?
There was a lot of background noise in your question. Can I just request you to repeat your question a little slowly, please?
Yeah, just a minute. Hello?
Yes, Tanuj, please go ahead.
Yeah. So, like I was saying, that Minda would come to know about your future expansion and new product lineup. So, how would you be able to protect your information from leaking out in that way? Can you guide me on that?
Whether Minda has 100 shares in Pricol or a 15.7 stake in Pricol, they will be privy to every information, like the smallest shareholder to the largest shareholder, whatever is not forward-looking. So they will be privy to the same information as any other shareholder is privy to, number one. Number two, from a customer standpoint, many of us competitors bid for a project, and a typical LOI is given at least 18 to 24 months before the start of a project. So every competitor of Pricol knows when they have lost out on the bid and why they have lost out and why the LOI has been placed in favor of Pricol. And this is known at least 18 to 24 months before the commencement of any business or start of production. So Minda doesn't have to wait to know as a shareholder. Minda will come to know 18 to 24 months when the bid process is lost and the LOI is endorsed on Pricol. Which is the reason probably that they have invested in Pricol, because they see the growth prospects in Pricol and the growth that Pricol can deliver in the coming quarters.
Okay, that answers my question. Thank you.
Thank you, Tanuj.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Vipul Kumar Shah from Sumangal Investment. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. So my question is, are you open to increase in stake via creeping acquisition route as permitted by the SEBI?
Mr. Vipul, Mr. Shah, thank you very much for that question. After the incidents of the past few days, we have had the best of legal advisors, the best of financial advisors, and the best of merchant bankers that have been advising us on the action to take on the way forward. We have worked out multiple strategies to ensure that the company remains in the control of the present promoter group, the Mohan family. I am open to making all forms of investment to ensure that this company that was founded by my father 50 years ago remains proudly in the hands of the same family. This is a commitment that I have made to every stakeholder of ours in every forum that I was able to get. I have prepared, the family and well-wishers have prepared a war chest if it comes to that. Finally, coming to your question of am I open to a creeping acquisition, it will be one of the strategies, but we will do it on our terms, not when markets are volatile or a hostile situation is potentially facing us, though we believe it is not, as per the reports in the media. Thank you, Mr. Shah.
Thank you, sir. I'll rejoin the queue.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Ashish from ET Now. Please go ahead.
Hi, can you hear me? This is Ashesha, this side from ET Now.
Good evening, Ashesha. Go ahead, please.
Yes. So PHI, which holds about 5% stake in the company, will they continue to stay invested in the company?
PHI holds a 5.73% stake in the company, to be precise, and they have endorsed our present management and have assured of their support, and they will continue to stay vested with the company for the short to medium term.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Suleiman from AB Capital. Please go ahead.
Hello, sir.
Good evening, Suleiman. Please go ahead.
So I wanted to know just one thing that
Sorry, Mr. Suleiman, but we are unable to hear you, sir. Your voice is sounding muffled.
Now can you hear me?
Yes, please.
Yes, please, but if you can talk a little slowly and loudly, it would be much appreciated.
Yeah, I just wanted to know that Pricol has been in partnership with Cipros and BMS. So in case of Minda buying more stake and making an open offer, what would be the fate of those partnerships? And also one more thing, just a few seconds back you said that your family and you have prepared a war chest. So does that mean you all are going to buy more from the open market in the near future?
Let me rephrase what I said earlier to Mr. Shah. Mr. Suleiman, we have no intention of any hostile takeover, and we intend to remain in control of this company. By legal means, by financial means, or every other means for which we have strategies in place. So the question doesn't arise of what will happen to the fate of the relationship, the technological collaboration that Pricol has with BMS or with Cipros, the products of both which we displayed in Auto Expo. So we will ensure that we remain in control of Pricol, and we will take necessary actions when there are counter actions taken, and we will not take any knee-jerk reactions at this point in time.
Okay, sir. Thank you. That gives a lot of confidence to us. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Kaushal Kedia from Wallford PMS. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Hi, Mr. Mohan. Just a question on PHI Capital. They are also shareholders in Minda Corp. So wouldn't it be in their interest actually to get the company merged?
Phi Capital are shareholders in Minda Corp with a 5% holding and a 5.73% holding in our company. It is not in their interest. It's two individual investments. Their investment in Pricol was much prior to Pricol. Their involvement in Pricol has been much prior to Minda. And it's two individual investments done by a shareholder. Much like an Aditya Birla or much like a Quant or any other mutual fund out there that has investments in both of these companies, which is public knowledge. So that does not have any bearing. And it is not in the interest of any financial investor to merge two companies where they have minority financial investments.
Also, sir, that you're saying that you have prepared some legal ways also from them preventing to take over the company. But if legally, if they go above 26, if they come out with an open offer and they go about 37%, then they will be essentially in control of the company. So what are the other legal ways that are coming to my mind? What are the other legal ways that you can use to prevent them, in spite of them taking?
I would like to place my cards out on the table, sir, with all due respect. But let me assure you that we have left no stone unturned to protect our rights and ensure control of this company. And I've also got the support of all my stakeholders to prevent any such takeover. And also let me tell you that if they cross the 25% mark, they will also be breaching regulatory codes, which will give us protection measures. We have evaluated all of our options and we keep all of our cards open to ensure that we remain in control of this company.
Yeah, I don't think Minda, as an analyst, I don't think that they have any visibility in the funds also. So it's too soon to say actually. but it will be interesting how it turns out. Also, sir, one more question on the results. I know in the Q3 con call, you didn't quantify the amount to which we lost out due to the shortage in the chips. It would be really helpful if you can roughly give an estimate about what kind of revenues we lost out on due to the shortage.
Kaushal, I know that is the second question, but I will give you the liberty of answering that question, and if you have further questions, to rejoin the queue as a matter of housekeeping so that there are other people in the queue. We've lost approximately 15% of our top line on account of the chip shortage. We have seen about a 2-2.5% erosion of our bottom line at an EBITDA level due to the chip shortage because of the premium prices that we have had to pay for the chips and also the extremely high levels of premium freight that we have had to pay to buy these chips. We are seeing the chip shortage easing off. Our CEO and our director of strategy have traveled to Germany, have traveled to the United States, have traveled to Japan, have traveled to Singapore to meet all the chip manufacturers and suppliers and get volume commitments for the next 3 years. We are already seeing signs of the chip shortage easing off, and I think, as I said in one of my investor calls earlier, the chip shortage will be history by August 2023, and prices and freight will come back to normal levels for chips by August 2023, which will help us improve our bottom line as well. Also, the chip manufacturers are migrating to the next generation of chips, which is why we have started investing very heavily in product engineering to migrate all our products to the next generation of chips, which will give us another 5 to 7 year leeway of product life for all of our product families which are dependent on chips.
All right. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Dhananjay Kumar Mishra from Sunidhi Securities. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hello, sir. So you are maintaining that you will never be open for any kind of discussion if directly approached by Minda in future?
Not just the future, Mr. Dhananjay Kumar. Good evening first. They have approached us multiple times in the past as well. In the last 5 to 6 quarters, asking if there's a possibility to do something together. I've told them very clearly that we are on a very firm financial footing with a very clear growth plan, and we have no intent of undertaking any sort of collaboration or joint venture or equity participation of any sorts. So today, when we stand on a very strong financial footing, when we stand on very strong customer endorsement, and when we stand very strong on a very strong LOI of business, and technologically in a far more superior place than they are, I don't see any merit or I don't see any why it would warrant having any sort of collaboration with them, equity or otherwise.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Hemant, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Good evening, sir, and thank you for providing me the opportunity.
Hemant, good evening. Can I request you to be louder, please? I'm unable to hear you.
Good evening, sir, and thank you for providing me the opportunity. Sir, just wanted to check on the 600 crore capex plan. Like when it will be put and what kind of asset turn we are expecting. Will it be in a staggered manner or it will be put in one go?
It will be in a staggered manner over the next 8 quarters for capacity enhancement to meet the current LOI of business that we have and the businesses that are in RFQ stage that we expect to convert to LOI with a certain ratio, as we have always done. We intend to increase our capacity to 4,000 crores of top line for which these investments are being done, and we are hopeful of generating. This is a slightly forward-looking statement, which I would like to also say, of 14% EBITDA. And this entire 600 crores, we again firmly believe can be met with internal accruals over the next 8 quarters.
So we can expect 3x of asset turn, right?
From about 2,400 crores, this will take us to about 4,000 crores of capacity enhancement, which will give us about 1,500 to 1,600 crores of capacity enhancement by spending about 600 crores of rupees.
Okay, sir. So 2.5 is basically. Okay.
It's between 2.5 and 3, depending on the product mix. There's no exact thumb rule because we'll be creating capacities not for a particular product mix, but for a broad product mix. So it would be between 2.5 and 3 at the very least.
And we'll be starting at the end of it.
Primarily also, Hemant, this is slightly increased cost of capex because land prices have also gone up extremely sharply in all the 3 automotive hubs of the country, Pune, NCR and Chennai. Had land prices been what they were 2 or 3 years ago, we could have probably even got a 4x to our capital infusion ratio, turnover ratio. Land prices will, probably bring down our capex to our turnover ratio.
Sorry to interrupt. May we request Mr. Hemant to please rejoin the queue? We have participants waiting for the turn.
Small follow-up, ma'am.
So may we request you to please rejoin? We have participants waiting in that for the turn, sir.
Okay, ma'am.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Devesh Shah, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Sir, I'm speaking on behalf of a very concerned minority. Sir, our concern is that we have invested in this company like you for the next 5 to 10 years or more. And now when we see that future is very bright, certain event has happened. Sir, my concern is that there is a very thin line of difference between a financial investment and hostile takeover. So you are well aware of, and you have taken all legal advice from the financial people. Sir, my concern is that since we are spending about 600 crore for the capex, and as a minority shareholder, we have, as a promoter holding in our company is about just 37, less than 37%, which by any standard is too less. So what is the management view, whether you will prefer a 600 crore capex or increasing the promoters holding? Sir, 5% at today's rate, suppose 5% holding will require only 125 crore. So by sacrificing little bit of capex, we can ensure the shareholder about the shareholders' value that we are with this promoter only. So it is a balancing act between your future growth and the shareholding, since we are at a juncture where we feel a fear of hostile takeover. So what is, sir, your view, a little bit of less capex at this point and more of an promoters, increasing promoters holding via preferential issue or via any means which you may feel better? So my concern is the low promoter shareholding.
In the interest of time, let me answer your question. It's 2 different questions that you have asked. The 600 crores of capex will be done by the company to grow the business of the company, to enhance the capacity of the company, and to meet the growth and the LOI of businesses that the company has. The 125 crores that you are alluding to is an investment by the promoters of the company into the company to increase their shareholding. It is 2 completely different things. Company need not sacrifice any amount from the 600 crores because this 600 crores will be generated through cash accruals and cash profits of the company and be reinvested in the growth of the company, thereby creating top line growth and bottom line growth for all stakeholders of the company. That is one. So there is no sacrifice there. Now, coming to the second part of your question, are the promoters committed to their holding in the company? Are the promoters committed to retaining control of the company, and if it warrants an investment to keep their shareholding, not shareholding, control of the company, let me paraphrase. The promoters are open to doing so and have the ability to do so and will do so on their terms at a time of their choosing, not in a hostile situation, creating a price war which is not going to benefit anyone.
Yes, sir, I do agree. But, sir, company can have other option of buyback of shares of about 125, 150 crore. Thereby, indirectly, you can increase your holding. Buyback of share by the company.
We believe that's not a prudent financial investment at this point in time because I think 37% plus extended family have shares also in the company, plus well-wishers like yourself and many others from the city of Coimbatore and extended family have put their weight behind the company. So I don't think we need to do any sort of knee-jerk reaction and decimate shareholder value. We see there is more merit in investing back into the business and creating shareholder value.
Thanks, sir. And we assure you that we are minority shareholder. We are with you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Shah, and bless you. And we look forward to growing and working and creating more value and more wealth for you in the years to come. And thank you for the confidence reposed in us.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Satyamurthy, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Good evening, sir, and I thank you for your commitment to the company and to the shareholders. I'm also an individual shareholder in your company. My question has been answered, but main thing is, what is the cash position you have on the books today, and how this 600 crores will be over a period of time? You said 8 quarters. Within the 8 quarters, you will be having how much cash expected? What is the projected cash in the books by the time?
Mr. Satyamurthy, that is a forward-looking statement which I think I should not be making. But let me assure you that we are debt-free today. We have zero leverage today. We have the chip shortages behind us. We have our premium freight, which will become history. We have the premium pricing for the chips that will go out in the next couple of months. We have an increasing market share. We have started generating a significant amount of cash, and we believe that the cash that we have and the cash that we will generate will be more than enough to meet this entire 600 crores of capex. Timing may be a small issue where the capex may be 1 quarter before and the cash may come a quarter or two later, for which only bridge capital will be required for maybe 2 to 3 quarters at most. Combined with our improved credit rating from Pricol, which also will reduce our borrowing costs if at all we have to go for borrowing, which we as a management team do not foresee unless we take some inorganic growth path, which we also intend to do, or healthy, well-managed assets with good balance sheets in adjacent businesses to extend our geographies and improve our export potential from India. I know I have not given you a straight answer, but I have given you a long-winded answer, but with a lot more information that you required.
Excellent, sir. Excellent. I understood the hidden message there, and wish you all the best in your endeavors, and we shareholders stand behind you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your support and endorsement, Mr. Satyamurthy. Good evening.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Vipul Kumar Shah from Sumangal Investment. Please go ahead.
Thanks for the follow-up, sir. Are you open to any joint bidding of the projects with Minda, or that is totally ruled out?
I completely rule it out because I believe we are a superior company in every which way, which is an endorsement of our market share and endorsement of the awards we have won for our innovation, and we don't see any merit in jointly bidding for any business. It has never happened before in the Indian automotive component industry, and I don't think we see any merit in it going forward as well.
Sir, would you repeat the market share figures if you don't mind, because I could not note down. If you don't mind, please.
I will request you to send a query to our investor relations department, and which will be answered, because I gave a very clear market share by value in every vehicle segment that we play in, and since many other people also participate, and this is public data belonging to Siam and Atma, we are more than happy to share that information with you. Please do send a query to our investor relations department, and they will reply to you. These are for specific segments of the market: two-wheelers, commercial vehicles, and off-road vehicles, where we have decided to compete with in globally, and our market share by value in the Indian industry, in the Indian OEM space.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Tanuj Kiani from Ventura. Please go ahead.
Hello.
Good evening, Tanuj. Good evening for the second time. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I just had a doubt that whether Minda has asked for a representative on the board.
They have made it very clear in their when they have made an investment in their media release that they will not be asking for any special rights or representation on the board or management of the company.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the clear.
Thank you, Tanuj.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Govind, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Sir, my question got answered, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Govind. I'm glad your question got answered. Good evening.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Aditya Sudarshan, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Hello. Good evening, Board of Directors. Am I audible?
Good evening, Aditya. Please go ahead.
I have a specific question. Back in 2013, we had KSI Capital investing as a preferential allotment. So do we have an NDA with them, because in 2020 they had picked up in Minda? So if we have an NDA, and are we renewing it on a regular basis, or how does it work out?
We don't have an NDA with Pi Capital, because they were an investor at one point of time and had participation in the management of the company, co-managed, but that is a long time ago, and we have not renewed the NDA, as they do not participate in any which way in any management or any actions of the company, and they are a pure play financial investor like any other investor in the company.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for the information.
Thank you, Aditya. Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, to ask a question, you may press star and 1. The next question is from the line of Man, an individual. Sorry for that. The next question is from the line of Ashish Kumar from Infinity Alternative. Please go ahead.
Thank you, sir. So just one query. With Pi Capital, is there any legal commitment in terms of non-disposable right of first refusal, etc., which might exist at the company level or the promoter level?
We don't have a legal, but we have a commitment.
But they are financial investors, what I understand, sir. So, so as a fiduciary, how far can that commitment goes? That's the way I'm trying to understand, sir.
I can assure you that the commitment goes very high, and from many of their investors individually in the fund as well.
Okay.
I would not like to comment further on this.
Sure, but you are saying that there is no legal commitment to me.
No, that is it.
Okay, thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you.
The next question is from the line of Man, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Sir, most of my questions are answered today, but just one recommendation as an investor.
Mr. Man, your voice is not very clear. Can I request you to be a little louder, please?
Am I audible?
Yes, a little louder and slower would be appreciated. Go ahead, please. Good evening.
Sir, most of my questions are answered today. I just have one recommendation from my side as an investor. It would be really good if you, Mr. Mohan, would be present in the quarterly con calls, because you represent us more transparently. So that's just a recommendation from my end.
Thank you, Mr. Mann, for that suggestion. It is just a policy that we thought all the leadership of the company should have an opportunity to represent the company, which is why we made an internal policy where for the half-yearly call and the annual call, it will be led by me, and for the Q1 and Q3 calls, it will be led by our very able CEO and Executive Director.
Okay, sir. That helps. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mann.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, this was the last question for today. I would now like to hand the conference over to the management for closing comments.
Thank you very much, Rutuja, for organizing this call, and thank you very much to Valorum Advisors for organizing this call. I would like to once again, on behalf of my entire management team, backed by our entire workforce, our customers who have reposed their faith in us, our suppliers who have stood by us in our most difficult times, our shareholders who have reaffirmed their faith in us and stood by us in our darkest, deepest hours. On behalf of the promoter family, we stand committed to creating value for each and every one of you. We have a good few years ahead of us in every which way, and we stand committed to this company, to creating value, and may we all grow together, shine together, prosper together, and travel down this glorious path together in the years to come. With the blessings of the Almighty, thank you for your support. Good evening.
Thank you. On behalf of Pricol Limited, that concludes this conference. Thank you for joining us, and you may now disconnect your lines.